everyone. This is Miss Sophia with the Cambodian family. I hope you guys are doing well. This is our first parent workshop. Just a short video on some tips and tricks that will help you to manage yourself and your children with all the stress surrounding COVID-19. So we hope that you'll find some really useful tips in our presentation. So I'll go ahead and get started. First, just a couple of reminders. We would like to remind you to take a break from the news. There is a lot going on right now, but obviously we know information can be overwhelming and it can upset us. So make an effort to turn off your screens once in a while and get away from all the craziness. Also, take care of your body. We recommend things like doing meditation, eating well-balanced meals, taking deep breaths, and also taking time from whatever you're doing as a task for some exercise. Some simple stretching, some floor exercises, possibly, depending on how you feel, are always really good. Also, be kind to yourself and reconnect with the things that you enjoy. This means whatever you like to do around the house or maybe around your community that can maintain your health and keep you safe as well. Continue to do those things. And also staying calm during this difficult time will help to ensure that your children can cope with stress better as well. So all of these strategies are really useful because it offers kids different examples to learn more healthy ways to deal with stress. Our first tip is to make children feel safe. Talk openly and give reassurance to your children that this situation is a temporary one. There's so much good that can be done when we really allow our kids to express their full range of emotions. And when we receive those feelings with empathy, that is also very important. Receiving those feelings with empathy rather than judgment, it allows our kids to come to us more openly and more honestly when they have other feelings of fear and frustration. However, when fear and frustration are minimized or dismissed, that's when we tend to see kids acting out more or being uncooperative. Our second tip is to focus on reassuring what we do know and what we can control. What this means is there's obviously a lot we can't see what's going to happen in the future, but we can always use what we do know as a way to reassure our children that this situation is not only temporary, but also there are some things that we can expect. For example, we know that right now we're not going to be seeing a lot of our friends and families in our lives that we normally interact with. We also know that we're going to have to find creative ways to pass the time at home. We also know that we aren't going to have access all the time to the foods that we like. And we also know what we have to do to stay healthy. Additionally, we know we can always talk through as a family when we have issues of frustration or fear, and to support each other as we're all dealing with stress, and to do so in healthy ways. So reassuring our children about these things and reassuring ourselves about these things allows us to find space to come up with ways to better support one another, to better prepare for the situation, and to also stay. Our third tip is that it is okay to talk with your kids about COVID-19. Obviously, this is something they're seeing all around their world. There's been a huge change. So it's important to give them the facts, but as we give them the facts, we really encourage you to let your children lead that conversation. Children need simple and honest answers. We would also recommend to avoid hushing your talk about COVID-19 when they walk into a room, and also never lie. The reason why is kids will pick up on those kinds of things, and they will pick up when it's not a genuine conversation. Obviously, we don't want to overwhelm our children with all of our really big stresses. However, it is important to let them know how you really feel, and also to offer them an example of how you feel and how you try to find ways to cope with that feeling or that stress. And this allows your child to also learn better ways to manage their own stress and their own fears. So again, allow them to have that conversation with you. Allow them to ask you questions if they have about COVID-19, if they have questions about something with the family, things like that are okay to discuss with your child. Also, our fourth tip is to try to maintain normal routines as much as possible. We all know that right now it's very difficult to stick to a routine, especially because school closures have really upended our day-to-day life in a massive way. But try to establish a new routine as best as you can. As we all know, some kids are frightened and overwhelmed by big changes in their environment. For our little ones especially, but our teenagers as well, allow plenty of time for them to adapt to the new system. They may not adapt as you do, but that is also part of their process as a child who is developing. And it's okay to allow them that space. Additionally, it's okay to check in with them and see how they're feeling, because the more that you do that as a parent, and allow them to tell you how much they want to tell you. Sometimes they don't want to talk a lot, and other times they do. Allow them to control that process, and it is important. And I think you will see that your children will feel a little bit more open to engage with you about things that they're concerned with. Try to keep your kids also engaged in positive activities. So if they're involved in a youth program, or if they have mentors or other positive adult relationships, it's important to allow them to continue to have those and to keep those commitments as routine as possible. Keeping these small things consistent really help kids to feel regulated, calm, and to make a potentially scary situation feel much more predictable. Lastly, we also recommend to give your children power and responsibility. Kids do better when they have power and they feel like they have a real role to play. It's actually one of their emotional needs. Kids can start a variety of different projects at home to help you manage stress, to help you manage your family's health. For example, kids can start a support chat within your family, or maybe amongst their friends. They can call each other. They can set up a project where they set up a support group so that maybe they can talk to their siblings or their friends or each other in ways that help them to better manage stress and feelings of fear. Also, maybe give them the task of coming up with silly games and activities that you guys can all do as a family. They can also help their neighbors and loved ones to stay safe and healthy, especially if they're frequently washing their hands with soap and water, and also wiping down their devices often and after each use. As well, when they cough or sneeze, remind them to use their elbows and a tissue. Anyway, that's all of the tips that we have today. I hope that this short video, short workshop was something that you could find some useful information on, and some ways to help you and your family deal with some of the stress surrounding COVID. More than anything, we're here for you and your family, and at whatever level that you need us to be here. So please feel free to reach out if you need any additional support from us. All right, well, I miss you guys, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful and relaxing day.